Good evening. Happy Monday. Welcome to Wine Time. I'm Debbie Giaquindo. I'm the Hudson Valley Wine Goddess. And this is Wine Time. And I even got the hashtags here to show you. It's Wine Time. And today we're going to be talking about sparkling wines and the sparkling wines of the world. Everybody always refers to sparkling wine as champagne, and we always think, oh, a bottle of bubbly is a bottle of champagne. Well, in fact, it's not. Champagne can only be made in the Champagne region of France. It's made in a certain way. The grapes can only come from the Champagne region of France. Anywhere else in France that champagne comes from is called Cremant. So, hi, Bradley. Thank you for joining. If you want to jump in on the seat, come on in. And there we go. I'll open the seat to you.
Yeah.
So everybody always thinks, hey, how are you?
Good, good. I'm in Australia. Where are you at?
I'm in New Jersey.
Oh, beautiful. All right, you continue
It's
on.
morning for you, isn't it?
Pardon?
It's morning for you. It's tomorrow.
Yeah, it's Tuesday, 12 noon.
Okay. Where in Australia are you?
Melbourne.
Okay. I have family in Sydney.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah.
We have good wines down here.
I know. It's on my bucket list.
Oh, you haven't been yet?
No.
Oh, you'll have to come on down.
I do have to. In fact, years ago, my aunt was really kind of upset with me because I made it to Hawaii and I didn't go the rest of the way.
Oh, yeah, well, it's still about 12 hours, I think, from Hawaii.
It was 12 hours to Hawaii, so.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. No, it is. It's 24 hours door to door. I know that much. I've done a trip many a time from New York or Washington to here. So. Yeah, it's good. So, all right. So you're going to talk about wine and.
Yeah, talking about bubbles today.
Bubbles. I like that. Yeah.
Well, everybody thinks when you refer to bubbles, it's champagne, and people don't understand the differences. There's, champagne's only from the Champagne region of France. Then you have the Cremant from the other regions. You also have, you have Prosecco in Italy, Cava in Spain, and like in the States, it has to be called sparkling wine.
Yeah.
And there are some places, some wineries in the States that feel that they were grandfathered in something that they can still call it champagne. I don't know what they were grandfathered in because the grapes don't come from the Champagne region of France. But, it's kind of, one of those myths and legends, I guess you would say.
Yeah, it's only a few years ago, I remember they changed the laws here for, because I'm a lawyer by trade, and they changed the laws here that you had to call it sparkling because of, everything was called champagne.
Right.
In a sense, like people tried to get the sparkling wines off as champagne. And as you know, Australians like a good drink, and we celebrate a lot. So, yeah, they changed it to just the French region, as you said, to be labelled champagne.
Yeah, it's center, wine origins. It's all on name and place of the wine. Just like, when you have champagne has to be from Champagne. Chablis has to be from the Chablis region of France. And I can remember even when I was young and you would see, box wine and say it's Chablis, but it really was, it was California wine that they called Chablis. It was probably made in the same way. Chardonnay of sorts, but it can't be called Chablis because it's not from the Chablis region of France.
Yeah.
So it's all on name and place of origins.
Ah, interesting. Yeah, I like my wines and that, but unfortunately not a connoisseur. But I went to a club. I think you've got them in America too. It's all men, which is not my rule, but it's called Burgundy and Beefsteak. Have you had those in America?
I have not heard of them.
You have?
I have not, no.
Oh. Well, apparently they are around the world. There's different chapters, and what it is these men meet once a month at a restaurant that allows them to bring their own wine. So the restaurant might have no bring your own policy, which means they normally just sell it or don't sell wine, and they allow them to bring their wine. And their club is they have a steak, so obviously the beef steak, but they wrap all their wine. They have a cellar master in the club, and they wrap their wine in a brown paper bag. So the cellar master will bring a sparkling on arrival, so you drink that on arrival, a glass. And then during the meal, you'll have a sample of reds and whites out of the brown paper bags. And then in your groups of, say, 3 or 4, you critique the wine and try and guess where it's from. And it's a pretty good concept. And it's taken off. It's been going for years, apparently. I've been a guest at a few of them. And, yeah, it's a great concept. You get 30 or 40 people. I prefer it to be mixed, but, it's an old tradition. But what a great concept to have people with like-minded interest in wine sitting around, and it's all in a brown paper bag. And the cellar master will say how much they bought it for, say 15, 20 years ago, because they'll cellar it for so long, or 5 years ago, and they'll say 5 years ago this cost, $5.95 at such and such. And, it's just a different concept.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I bet you taste some really good wine.
I'll look up while you're chatting. I'll look up a link, and I'll send you a link to one. I think they've got a web page, and you can have a look. And it's just something different, and it gets interest going. And it's good for the restaurants on their quiet days to have 20 or 30 people going there. Absolutely. Yeah. So and it's just something different.
That actually, I think that would be really cool. Brown. It's a blind tasting.
Yeah. Blind. That's
trying to guess where. Where it's from, the grade. Do you have to try and guess the year too?
I don't think the year from memory, but I know you've got to guess the region, and it's generally all Australian, right? So in our country, obviously all Australian. And yeah, it's just, I'm definitely no good at it. And it's just great watching the guys that really get into it, that know their wines. Yeah. And just listening to them, and it blows me away how they can virtually guess the region, whether it be the Barossa Valley or whether it be the Mornington Peninsula, whatever region in Australia. They tend to get it pretty close. Yeah, because they're in tune with the growing season and the soil, so they can tell, like a warmer climate red versus a cooler climate red. Uh-huh. More fruitier versus, more earthiness. That's way cool. Yeah, there you go. There's a link to them, so you can have a look at that later if you like. I'll have to click on it. Yeah. I thought since you blog on this, it could be an idea you could use, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So I realize it's too early for you to drink. Well, not really. Yeah. You've got me jealous now because I'm working from home today, and I'm in my shorts because it's summer and everything. Right. So I've got the summer feel, and here you are with a glass of wine, and I'm thinking, here I am, glass of bubbles too. I've got I have a Cremant from Burgundy. Uh huh. There you go. Nice. Yeah, actually, it is really nice. It's a tough gig you got there. Because it is tempting, and it's just nice to have a sip on some days. And I'm just looking out the window now at the blue skies. But anyway, I'll be disciplined and let you talk and just keep teasing me with your wine as you sip it. But that's all right. Don't feel guilty. Yeah, no,
Something I pulled from the old wine closet today. Actually,
you should try and schedule it for about 2:00. Then usually I'll have a rule, after 2 p.m. is kind of fine. So yeah, unless I'm flying. If I fly and I go into the lounge, I'll give it a nudge before I fly, because then you can sleep.
Exactly. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So you blog on wine, and what else do you do?
I do. I blog on wines, and my experience with wines and wine and food pairings, and my traveling with wines and things like that. Mm-hmm. And I do social media consulting during the day.
Yeah. So, good. That's what I dabble into a little bit. I represent sometimes in the past victims of cyberbullying and cyber abuse, because I'm an ex-federal agent turned lawyer. And now I'm just doing a few projects in relation to domestic violence in social media. But now some law firms have asked me to consult in relation to setting up all their social media profiles.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I do. Well, not similar, but I do similar working with small businesses and trying to get them, brand awareness and exposure and try to teach them how to, either do it right or I'll do it for them. I find I just moved down to South Jersey from the Hudson Valley, where I lived for most of my life. And down here, I see a real lack of connection and interaction.
Yeah.
With the social sites. It's a one way, they do it one way and you can't. And then they wonder why it doesn't work.
Yeah, well, the trouble too with them is they want results straight away, and they don't, you know what I mean? Unless they see the results straight away, they tend to drop off. And
you're building relationships, and that takes time.
Yeah. And so what I try to do now is we've set up a 6-month program. So what they've got to do is sign up for 6 months, pay the 6 months, and I show them and just tell them how it's not a process where tomorrow the phones are going to ring nonstop.
Right.
But by building a profile up, you're going to make a dent in the market.
Right.
Which is good.
I've been doing this since I started my blog in 2007. My wine blog. I think it was 2007 I started.
Yeah.
And that's when, the social media all started, it was in its infancy. There was Twitter, and then Facebook, and, and now look at it. There's a zillion different, mediums to get on. And
I think I got 13, I count, that I set up now. I've set up a web page, and I'll send you the link a bit later. I've got 13 sites that I quote on, that I'll put them on. So they can range from between 1 to 13 different sites that I'll set up for them. And that's a lot now,
Yeah. I mean, there is a lot out there. We went from a society that got their information from TV, newspapers, and radio to now a society that gets their information from TV, what's left of a newspaper, possibly radio, or digital radio doesn't have news, unless, it does if you have a news channel, magazines, and the internet. And the internet, it can be a web page, a service, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Blab, who knows what else.
Yeah,
blog,
it's instantaneous. I mean, I lecture at university level, and my students, they don't get a book. They do not go and research a book. They don't photocopy at a library. They don't go and do the hard yards. They just want to Google it and have the answer within the second page of Google, or they give up.
Right.
And that's what customers want. They want to find out all about your business, and and businesses don't get it. I mean, I went to a winery on Saturday. My daughter was rowing, and it was an area not known for wineries, and I knew there had to be a wine bar somewhere, because I didn't want to sit at a bar in between a 3-hour wait between races.
My son wrote.
Yelp, and I went on to Yelp, and beautiful. A boutique winery was around the corner. Now, a lot of businesses in Australia don't understand Yelp, and I tell them, I say, you've got to get on Yelp. Create your business page on Yelp, on TripAdvisor, and be active on it. It's a no-brainer.
I have a funny story I'm going to tell you. I do some work locally for a theater company with their social media. And last Friday, I get a call from the office manager, and she's like, she just got a call from this restaurant that said that we left them a horrible review online, and wanted to know, it wasn't us. It was somebody on TripAdvisor with a handle that assumed it was the theater.
Yeah.
And I said, this is what you have to tell the guy to do, the owner of the restaurant. Have him respond to the TripAdvisor comment, because, people left a negative comment. Obviously there was a problem. He needs to address it through the conversation with the person. You can then take it offline, and he can, call the person or email the person, whatever. So she tells the restaurant guy to do that. And the restaurant guy figures out who it was that was in the restaurant that night that left that account, comment, called the guy. And through a conversation, he admitted, yes, he did. And then the restaurant guy reamed him, your handle is that of another local business. And I called them, yelling at them, because I thought they left me a nasty review, and why couldn't they come and tell me that they had an issue with their server? He says, what you're doing is wrong. The guy was totally mortified. And there's a backstory, because he used to sit on the board of this particular theater and stuff, but I was laughing. I'm like, people think also they can hide behind things like that. They can hide behind a handle. And in this case, the guy, was called out on it.
Yeah, and it's interesting how that way it's going. There's even litigation happening in relation to people making false claims on TripAdvisor and the like. Especially competitors are doing it. So,
oh, really?
Competitors are doing it, and there's some hefty litigation apparently taking place, which is good.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You shouldn't be able to sledge someone openly about a business online and get away with it. But this anonymity about online, it just drives me nuts. I mean, I really wish that, and we talked about this, and we had a Twitter thing on my Twitter channel, was pay to have your account verified. I'm a big advocate for, I'd pay $20, $50 a year and have my Twitter account verified, so people know who I am, that I'm verified. If I say something wrong, I can be held accountable. This business of just sledging people and getting away with it's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. But
it's the same here. You could be anybody. Like we've got someone in the room now who's been here, and there's only I've just looked at the Twitter account, Jennifer, and there's only, she's only following one person on Twitter. Who is this person? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they sit very silent. And Blab won't, when you see the +1 at the top of your screen, that means it's an anonymous person logging in. Well, to me, Blab should be open and verifiable, and who everybody is. But that's just Blab at the moment. They're in beta stage.
Right.
It's not very uncomfortable not knowing who's in the room.
Right. So we're way off track here, because we're supposed to be talking about sparkling wines, and we ended up talking about social media.
Let's go back to your sparkling wine.
So sparkling wines. So what kind of sparkling wine do you like the best? Do you have a favorite?
Well, I'm not a really big fan of sparkling wine. I just wanted to have a look at your Blab, but if
I have to tell you, I wasn't a big fan of sparkling wines either until recently.
No, it's not one I look at the brand, as long as it's refreshing and it's it's got a crisp taste to it. That's fine on a hot day, but preferably probably just a hot day.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you suggest on a hot day?
A bottle of bubbles, or actually,
Yeah.
I do a bottle of bubbles. Is refreshing, and so many people think that bubbles are only for a special occasion. There's Valentine's Day, there's New Year's Eve, there's your wedding, your anniversary, but bubbles really should be enjoyed all year round.
Yeah.
Why save that bottle for a special occasion? That special occasion might never come, or you might never live to have it. So enjoy it, enjoy the moment. So I think that bubbles really, crack it open when you have when you want to drink it. There's no rhyme, there's no reason, just, treat it as just a regular bottle of wine, like a bottle of red or a bottle of white. Sparkling wine goes with a lot of things. Pairing it with food, and you don't know what to pair something with, a bottle of bubbles.
Yeah, well, that's a good way of looking at it, because a lot of people do just drink it at special occasions, like if they're celebrating or a special event or something like that. They'll have champagne breakfast, or go before a football game or a major race meeting. They'll have a meet up for breakfast and have a champagne and chicken breakfast, or a bubbles breakfast, as you say now. So yeah, throughout the day, and that's what was different with that Beefsteak and Burgundy Club, how they open up every meeting that they have, whether it be a lunch or a dinner, they have it with a sparkling.
Right.
So they start off the day with a sparkling, and then once the main course is about to be served, they then move into the red or the white, which is good.
Yeah, I have a wine course coming out at the end of the month, geared towards business people that have to entertain clients. Powerful tips for your business dinner. And one of the things, it's a webinar that will lead to a class, Mastering the Business Dinner. But one of the things that we talk about in it is, start off your business dinner with bubbles, because you're not going to know, depending on how many people, whether you pre-order the wine or not, you don't know what people are going to order. So you don't, while you're fumbling over the menu, deciding what to drink, start with a bottle of bubbles.
Yeah.
And, we go into, in this particular course, which actually you can find it on milliondollarsips.com. That's the name of the brand that I'm branding it under. We talk about the different price points of bubbles, because champagne is probably one of your highest price points when you're talking bubbly, sparkling wine.
You're looking around $75, I think $80 a bottle down here, I think, for champagne.
You can probably find champagne for probably $30, $25-$30 on a low end in the States. And then you can get a good bottle of cava, which is sparkling wine from Spain, probably for $10 to $15.
What about in California? I'm going to be in California later this week, doing some stuff up there with Twitter and the like. What is a good Californian sparkling?
Caneros. Oh my gosh, Gloria Ferrer.
Yeah.
Her sparkling wine is really good. J Vineyards is a good sparkling. They're in Sonoma. They actually have a great tour if you can get up there, and you can taste all their sparklings. I've done that.
Oh, good. Well, hopefully I can. I want to get to the Napa Valley and have a look around as well. And
where are you going? San Francisco?
Yeah, San Fran and the usual tech centers.
Are you going to the Super Bowl?
No. Where's it on this year?
It's in San Francisco.
Oh, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be nuts. No, I won't go. I can't get tickets, but I'll be in I'll obviously catch up with all the hype.
Oh yeah, you will be caught up in all the hype. Absolutely.
Yeah, I can imagine. I better make sure my flight gets in and it's not going to be crazy time. So, yeah.
Yeah. You probably picked the absolute worst week to go.
I know. But, yeah, I've got some major things to to do. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I'll put some of your suggestions to play.
Yeah, definitely. But they're probably a little bit on the price, the more expensive side, but they're good bubbles. I like Laura O'Hara. Yeah.
Well, our dollar's 30% down at the moment, so it's going to be 30% more for me. So that's why you should come to Australia, because you get 30% extra.
I probably should.
I
do know I need to. So
you get $1.30 for every US dollar down here. So
yeah, that is on my bucket list, and I do have a place to stay. So
yeah,
in the Sydney area. So to start off with.
So you're going to be doing ones on red wine and out on these.
Yeah, I'm going to do one a month. I'm going to do one of these a month, the first Monday of the month. I haven't really thought quite about what I'm going to do in March, but I thought bubbles are appropriate for this time of year, since Valentine's Day is coming up. And we do like to pair wines with chocolates. And, I like bubbles with white chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
I did a wine and cake ball pairing in September at a wine festival. And I did it was a white cake ball. It was a raspberry champagne cake ball with white chocolate. And I paired it with a sparkling wine, a Brotherhood Winery sparkling wine. And it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really, really good.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So, but I think, I think sparkling wines, I think people need to drink them more, I think, and understand them more. That, if you're sitting around on a Saturday night or a Saturday afternoon, and instead of going for a glass of, white wine, get a bottle of bubbles out. And like I said, price range, people think that, sparkling wine's expensive. And not all sparkling wine is. Prosecco, too. You can get a good bottle of Prosecco for probably about, $15, and, enjoy it, embrace it.
Yeah, no. Look, absolutely. And, I loved your theory before about it doesn't have to be a special occasion for bubbles. And I think that's the mindset, as I said earlier, a lot of people, that it has to be
why wait? You don't know how long you don't know how long you're going to be on Earth for. Why wait and hold that bottle for a special occasion? Enjoy it now.
Absolutely.
Enjoy the bubbles now. So I opened this bottle of wine, I opened the Cremant before I had dinner, and I made it was really warm today, so when I got up this morning, I thought in terms of a barbecue. But when it came time to eat dinner, it was raining. But we had lamb burgers. And believe it or not, the sparkling wine went with the lamb burgers. It cut through the fat.
Beautiful.
And,
so do you have deals that suppliers look after you? Or
do I what?
Have deals with suppliers to look after you?
No. Actually, this particular Cremant I got from this wine club I belong to called Somm Select. It's a fantastic wine club. Once a month, I get 6 bottles of wine. It's a little on the expensive side, but well worth it. The selections are really wonderful. This Cremant is wonderful. We have not been disappointed yet.
Good.
By this wine club.
Yeah, they're hard to find. The wine clubs are hard to find, and I just joined one at the local winery, well, not local winery, but a winery I went to, and I'm fairly happy with their wines and their prices and everything. So, that's where you get the good deals. It's harder on the retailers now, because people are getting smarter to go to wine clubs.
Yeah, and a lot of times when you join a wine club, you get things that aren't offered to the general public. You get, selections that are just, it might be a limited selection. You might just have only made, a small amount of cases, say maybe, 100 cases of it. So they'll offer it to their wine club first. And what the wine club doesn't consume or purchase, they'll offer in their tasting room. And that's about as far as it goes. I belong to a couple of winery wine clubs as well. So, But this select, it covers wines from all over the world, so which is nice.
Oh, good. Well, that's excellent. Well, I've followed you here on Blab, and I've followed you on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll drop you a line when I'm traveling, and a message in Twitter. Oops.
Okay, sounds good.
And and what we'll do is I might get some tips from you while I'm traveling. But it's been great, and good luck with this. And I love the topic, and I look forward to your next one, whether it's white or red. And I'll try and jump on if I'm back.
Okay, great. Thanks for joining, and have a great time in California.
Likewise. Bye.
Yeah. Any questions? Just tweet to me, and I'll try and answer them for you.
I will. Don't you worry. I'll be tweeting
to the right winer.
All right. Bye.
All righty. Take it easy. So I thank Bradley for stopping in and chatting with us this evening. If anybody else would like to take a seat, feel free to click on and come in and join. We were talking about champagne or actually sparkling wine, and the misnomer that everybody thinks that sparkling wine should be called champagne, where champagne is really only from the Champagne region of France. There are 3 grapes that are in the Champagne, Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Pinot Meunier. And like I said, it's only from the Champagne region of France. And bubbly sparkling wines from other parts of France are called Cremant. And that's what I'm drinking right now is a Cremant. And it is from Burgundy. And I will show you Cremant from Burgundy. And there's many different types of sparkling wine in the world. We have Cava that is produced in Spain. We have Asti, which is also produced in Italy, and Prosecco that is produced in Italy, and Franciacorta, which is produced in Italy. Their sparkling wine in the States, it should be labeled sparkling wine, and it doesn't have to be expensive to drink it. You can get a decent bottle of sparkling wine, like a bottle of Cava, for $10. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody want to ask me any questions? Tracy wants to come in. Come on in.
What are your feelings on New York wines?
I really like New York wines. I'm from New York, so that's kind of a but I've seen New York wines go very far in a short period of time.
Which are your favorite wine regions in New York, or which is Finger Lakes or Long Island or Niagara?
Well, actually, I'm from the Hudson Valley, so I'm kind of partial to the Hudson Valley.
Are you familiar with Warwick Valley?
I am.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Warwick Valley?
I may or may not be.
Yeah, you're all kind of covered up.
I am.
What are you hiding?
You would probably recognize me.
Oh, I probably would, huh?
If you're in the New York wine industry, then you would. Probably.
Okay. So why do you want to hide who you are?
I have my reasons.
Contribute to the conversation.
I can contribute with this.
Well, I think everybody else would rather see who you are, and if you have, good contributions, make yourself known.
So, are you a dry or sweet kind of person?
So there's no really reason for you to be on here with a mask on.
I'm a man of many faces. So
what is your favorite wine region in New York?
I'm quite partial to the Finger Lakes region myself.
Okay. And are you from the Finger Lakes region?
I may or may not be.
Okay. So you're not going to give any goods up here. You're just going to sit here with your sunglasses, your bandana over your face, and your hat on.
I'm here to talk about wine. Nothing more, nothing less.
Okay. So tell me, what is your favorite bubbly?
My favorite bubbly? I'm going to have to say I'm quite partial to the Goose Watch.
Okay. And what grapes are in their bubbly?
I believe they are Cayuga White. I'm not positive. They do make several different varieties. They also make a Prosecco, artificially carbonated. Prosecco style.
Oh, okay.
Pardon me.
Charmant tank method?
I believe they might have been grandfathered in, though, on it. On the whole origin.
Okay, so outside of the Finger Lakes, what type of sparkling wine do you like?
Probably say that I actually like champagne.
Okay. Any particular brand that you prefer over another?
I think that they're kind of hard to mess up over there.
Well, I think, just like everywhere else, every label has its distinction on, flavor, taste.
I appreciate
really what the winemaker wants to achieve in a wine.
I appreciate them all for their unique character.
Okay. All right. Does anybody else want to chime in and come in and have a seat? We're talking about sparkling wines. I guess nobody else wants to join in. So you're scaring everybody away. You really don't want to be seen or known, do you?
Don't be offended. I'm like this with everyone on Blab. I just saw this as an opportunity for my specialty.
Okay. So you like champagne. You like pretty much all of them. You're not particular to one particular label.
I'm not necessarily fond of sparkling wines, but they're not my favorite.
And why not? I didn't particularly care for sparkling wines either until probably the past 4 or 5 years. I kind of acquired a taste for them.
I can appreciate a good champagne method, but other than that, I'm partial to dry reds.
Okay, so you don't like sparkling wine that's tank fermented in the Charmant method, like a Prosecco.
I can't say that I am. They're okay. They're great for New Year's, but I'd never dish out $100 a bottle for it.
Well, Prosecco you probably can get for
$5. Yes.
So it's not really an expensive bubbly. Cava too. Cava is an inexpensive sparkling wine as well.
Honestly, if I was looking to celebrate something, I could just get myself a bottle of Spumante and be happy.
Okay, and that's made with the Moscato grape.
You are correct.
So what?
I said you are correct.
Yeah. And do you like the Asti or the full-fledged sparkling? When you're talking Spumante.
I'm probably going to go with Asti Spumante.
Okay. And I'm going to talk a little bit about Cava now, because actually Cava has come to be one of my favorite sparkling wines. It's inexpensive, so it can be treated just like an everyday, like it would be my house sparkling wine. And Cava is made with three grapes, the Massibo Excelero and the Paradello. And actually, I've had some Cava that is made with Chardonnay as well recently, which was really good. So, I think people should be drinking more sparkling wine. I think it should be more of an everyday thing and not just for special occasions. What's your feeling on that?
I would like to see it more pervasive in the market. It has a lot of growth to be had.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree.
Particularly in the sweet wines. I'd like to see them more exploited. Maybe Concord, Niagara.
So you like hybrids and Native Americans?
I do like Native Americans. That's what I meant. Okay. Are you familiar with Ives?
No.
You should check it out.
Ives, like Ives?
I do believe that's the spelling.
Okay, is that a hybrid grape?
It's been here since Christopher Columbus touched down on these lovely shores.
Okay, I'm learning something tonight too. So I'm going to wrap this up. It's been about 45 minutes. So does anybody have any questions out there or want some information? Talk about some bubbly and sparkling wines. If you're looking for some good value sparkling wines for Valentine's Day, I would look for Spanish Cava, some Prosecco, some Franciacorta. If you want to go with sparkling wines from France, you have obviously the Champagne, but you can also look for Cremant. You've got Cremant of Alsace, the Loire Valley. Cremant from the Loire Valley is usually Chenin Blanc grapes. You can go with Cremant from Alsace. There'll be like Pinot Blanc or maybe even a Riesling. So there's actually also grower champagne, which is a little bit cheaper than regular champagne. And what that is the growers of the grapes in the Champagne region, they don't sell them to the champagne houses. They will sit and they will process and make the champagne themselves and label it and sell it to the public. And that's called grower champagne. And if you can find a bottle of that, it's usually a little bit less expensive than one of the champagne houses champagne. And then there's, sparkling wine in the United States. There's, every state makes wine, and I'm sure there's sparkling wine in every state. I would try and buy local if you can. If there's a sparkling wine that in a local or regional winery, for Valentine's Day, I would, definitely suggest, frequenting your local winery and purchasing local. And I think that's about it for me tonight. I want to thank everybody for joining me. And you can find me online at HudsonValleyWineGoddess.com. And
I'm sorry,
as I mentioned
what was it?
earlier, I'm sorry, HudsonValleyWineGoddess.com.
Okay.
And I have a course coming out at the end of the month for business people learning to powerful tips for your business dinner, and leading into a course, Mastering the Business Dinner. And it's all about wine service during your business dinner so that you can feel confident in ordering the wine and closing that business deal. So I hope everyone will join me next month, the first Monday of the month, for another Wine Time Wine Chat. It's been great. Thanks for joining me, and have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.